Ina, what is referencing?
I'm not sure. It's like a link for some.
Yeah.
Explain.
What does it link?
For some information.
It's a link for some information. That's not enough. You need to give me more than that. It is a link. It definitely provides a link. But if you're thinking it's a link, then you must think that there are two things that it's linking. So what are the two things that it links referencing?
For some evidence, some information.
I would say it provides a link between clauses or sentences. Okay. Regarding information about a noun or a situation or event. Okay. That's what I'm thinking. Situation or event. Now, why am I saying that? Okay, well, let's think of some examples. Let's think of some pronouns. Pronouns. Okay. So it, this. Can anyone think of any?
Who?
Who?
Him.
Who,
His.
Her.
He.
his,
Her.
her, their,
He.
Way.
They.
their,
Them.
Yeah. We. Us.
Those.
So they would be them.
Yeah.
Yeah. He and him.
Her, his.
Yeah. He and him.
myself, yourself,
Those.
their.
And she and her. Yeah, these are all pronouns. Okay. Us and we. Which is a good one.
Whose?
Those.
No. Whose is an adjective.
Oh.
Yeah.
Those.
That is a good one. Those, I love it. Those, we've got those as well. Yeah. These. Yeah. So all of these words are words that are used to refer to things that we've already mentioned. Okay. It is a strange one because I can say things like, it's a nice day. And then when I say it, I'm not referring back. That's called like a general situational pronoun. It's a nice day. It's a shame when this happens. Okay. I'm not referring back, but generally I refer back with it. So for me, there's always going to be some kind of a sentence. Okay. There's always going to be some kind of a sentence or part of a sentence that's saying something and then you're referring back to it. That's what it means. You're referring. And it's really helpful to know it. And we talk about it a lot with reading part C. Okay. I bought a car recently. It is red. Okay. The car, isn't it? The car is red. Okay. If I said I bought a car. Well, actually, no. How about this? This is where it gets a bit strange. I bought a cat. This will be difficult for Najibullah. From my neighbor, Fred. He is friendly. Okay. This is where it gets tricky, isn't it? Because who's friendly?
A cat.
Well,
My neighbor, I guess. My neighbor.
It could be either. It could be either. In this situation, you really don't know. And in this situation, this is the kind of thing where you can easily make jokes in English. You know, most jokes are word plays, aren't they? And this is the kind of thing that you can do in English where you can make a joke. Now, there are other adjectives, aren't there? He is small. That would be a very strange thing to say about Fred, wouldn't it? That would be a very strange thing. Obviously, I'm talking about the cat there. Okay. He smells.
Excuse me.
Now, it'd be very strange to say this about my neighbor Fred, wouldn't it? Okay. But Fred, what if I put, I got a cat recently from my neighbor. He is generous. Okay. Have you ever described a cat as generous?
My
No.
neighbor.
No.
My neighbor is
No. No.
okay. What about if I put he is nice? We don't know again, do we?
Yeah.
Because I've used got a cat. I don't know. But if it was I bought a cat, it's not nice to sell someone a cat, is it? It's not nice. So now you're thinking it's the cat again. So lots of things can influence this, and I can't go into all of them. But this in OET, it's generally not going to be as confusing as that. Okay. They're generally going to use things like this referencing. So if I said something like I sold some shares recently. This is why I am moving house. Okay. This can be a simple noun, but there is no single noun there apart from me. So this must mean the whole thing. Okay, this must refer to the fact that I sold some shares recently. There is no single noun in that previous sentence that I'm referring to. All right, or it could be a relative clause. I bought some keys which I gave to my mother. All right, which must be anyone?
To the keys.
Keys,
Referring
yeah.
to the
The
keys.
keys.
Must be the keys.
All the keys.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, when I write these sentences they're just taken out of context. They're not in the middle of someone speaking. But what you realize when you listen or read genuine English texts, and I imagine that this is the case in your language as well, it is used all the time because we don't want to repeat ourselves. Just imagine you had to repeat yourself. Okay, I sold some shares recently. Okay, I sold some shares recently. Because I sold some shares recently, I am moving house. Doesn't that seem a bit of a strange thing to do?
Yeah.
You see, I sold some shares recently. Because I sold some shares recently, I'm moving house. If somebody said that to you, you'd say, why did he say I sold some shares recently twice? We don't want to do that. We don't want to repeat ourselves. It would take too long. Okay.
Certainly.
We use referencing all the time, and it's a common feature of OET. So what I've got some questions for us to do. Okay. And in all of the transcripts for these questions, you're going to see referencing being used. And referencing, I'll give you a tip now, referencing is part of why the answer is the answer. Okay. So everyone, I want you to read that question, and then I'm going to play some audio for you. You have to choose the answer, and then I'll bring the transcript back. Okay, and we'll have a look at it and we'll analyze it. So first thing, let me open this. Just tell me, actually, I know you'll be able to hear it. Okay, so let's just read this question, please, first. Read this question. I give everyone 20 seconds.
A hospital manager.
Not out loud, just to yourself. Okay. 20 seconds starts now. Okay, so we just had 20 seconds. So I'm going to ask Kushal, are you there? Hello, Kushal?
Hi, Paul. Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so let's think about your preparation for this question. What are you listening for?
I'm listening for a context where it talks about the equipment
Mhm.
and the manufacturer. The context is like that.
Well, yeah, but you know that the context is going to be like that. You know, that's not something that you need to think about in your preparation. How are you preparing yourself to listen? What are you going to listen for?
I'm going to listen for why the why the equipment has been returned to the manufacturer.
So for me, I'd be thinking, I'm going to simplify that. I'm listening for a problem. Yeah. I'm listening for a problem, but you're also thinking, well, why is it being returned? So what I would expect that there's going to be more than one problem. What do you think?
Yeah.
Yeah. There's probably going to be more than one problem. I like this, Khalid, because I've got because in my head, due to exactly. Now, if I look at A, B, and C, I need to differentiate between those three. That's how I know that I'm listening to option A or listening to option B or listening to option C. So Catalina, for A, B, and C, what do you think are the key words for me to say, oh, they've just mentioned that?
I think for A is luck.
A lack of, yeah, a lack of, yeah.
For B isn't working.
Yeah, isn't working properly. And
And
C,
sitting for too long.
sitting for too long, yeah. That one's going to be super easy, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Because they're going to have to talk about an amount of time or something like that. That one's going to be easy. Isn't working properly. Can you think of any vocabulary that matches isn't working properly? Broken?
Not functioning. Functioning properly.
Malfunctioning, yeah. Malfunctioning, isn't functional, broken, yeah. Okay. So this is what goes through my mind. If I've got 20 seconds, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go 1, get me the essence of the question. And then 2, what are the 3 things in these questions? What are the things I'm going to be listening for? Okay. So let me put everyone on mute and I'm going to press play. Here we go.
The new MRI that we had delivered in July has been a bit disappointing. We've had it for 4 months, and when we finally installed it, there was a problem. We're going to have to send it back to the manufacturer to get it looked at. The radiography department have told me there is a low helium level, but that can be easily fixed. It also has a faulty heat exchanger, and this is why it needs looking at.
Okay, so let's bring out the poll. Here's the poll. A, B, or C? What do you think? A nice American accent for you there, guys. Okay, so let me end the poll there. I'm not going to share the answers yet. Lena, are you there, Lena?
Yes.
Hi, Lena. What did you go for?
I chose B.
You chose B. Why?
And that's what I understand from the audio.
Okay. Was there any vocabulary that you picked out that was helpful?
If you can help me with the translated again so I can read it.
Okay,
I actually
well,
don't remember it exactly.
I'll play it again. Okay,
Sure.
and we'll pause it.
The new MRI that we had delivered in July has been a bit disappointing.
Okay, so what have we heard so far?
So he said that it's disappointing, so I'm assuming it's not working really good.
Okay.
We've had it for 4 months, and when we finally installed it, there was a problem.
Now, which option does that sound like?
C.
B.
No, that
Yeah,
one.
all
of them.
C. Sure.
C.
It's got, I would say we've got the 4 months, haven't we?
Yes, but
We've
that's
got
not the
4
reason.
months. But it doesn't say
Is the reason.
that because it wasn't used for 4 months, it didn't work. It doesn't say that. Okay. It does sort of suggest here that there was a problem as well. Yeah, there was a problem, but it doesn't say that because
Well, it's confusing. I think it's B. B can work, C can work.
Well, let's keep going. Let's keep going. Okay.
We're going to have to send it to the manufacturer to get it looked at. The radiography department have told me there is a low helium level, but that can be easily fixed.
There's a low helium level. Which one did that sound like?
A.
Lack of something.
Hey, yeah. Now
Lack something.
I am talking to Lena. Okay, Lena. So what was it that there was a lack of? Lena?
Yeah,
What was there a lack of?
the helium.
Yes, there was a low helium level.
Helium,
wasn't
yeah,
there?
yeah.
There's some noise coming through from somewhere. I think that's better now. Okay, and let's listen to the very last bit again.
It also has a faulty heat exchanger, and this is why it needs looking at.
What did you hear there, Lena?
Can you play the last part again?
I think it's not very easy to do that with this, but I can play it all again.
The new MRI that we had delivered in July has been a bit disappointing. We've had it for 4 months, and when we finally installed it, there was a problem. We're going to have to send it back to the manufacturer to get it looked at. The radiography department have told me there is a low helium level, but that can be easily fixed. It also has a faulty heat exchanger, and this is why it needs looking at.
So
Okay.
isn't it B in the end because the lack of helium that they found it he said it's easily to fix.
Yeah, that's easily fixed,
That's
isn't it?
easy. Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. So the lack of something is not the reason why it's being returned, is it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So look at this. Okay, we've got loads of referencing. Okay, so the new MRI has been a bit disappointing. We've had it for 4 months, and when we finally installed it, there was a problem. We're going to have to send it back to get it looked at. Okay, so that's basically just introducing this is a problem. The radiography department have told me there is a low helium level, but that can be easily fixed. Okay, that can be easily fixed. So what does that mean?
That's the helium problem. The
Yeah,
helium problem can be fixed.
Exactly, a low helium level that can be easily fixed. Okay, and then it also has now no one
Faulty heat exchanger, and this is why it needs to look. Okay, so B.
and this is why. Yeah, there it is. The answer is B. So nobody said the word faulty, did they, when we were looking at not working properly? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what faulty means. But it's this word, isn't it? This. In both cases, in both of them, we are told by the use of the referencing which one is the answer and which one is not the answer. This is why it needs looking at, but that can be easily fixed. If it can be easily fixed, it doesn't need to go back. We've used the contrast to do it. Okay.
And for the other reason that A is not correct because they said low helium, but here it is lack. There is
Exactly.
low and lack is
Ah,
quite different.
okay. But lack is an interesting one. Lack doesn't mean that it's not there at all.
It means no lack. In our language, it means there's nothing lack.
No, it can
Insufficient.
They can be a both. So if I said we've got a lack of nursing staff in their home, it doesn't mean there are no nurses. It just means we don't have enough of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, not enough. Okay, let's do another one. Here we go. Prepare yourself, guys. I want you to do the same thing. I want you to look at it. What's the essence? What are we listening for? And what's the difference between A, B, and C? Starting now, 20 seconds. Okay, we've had about 20 seconds. Nasiba, on mute. Everyone on mute. Nasiba, are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
Hi, Nasiba. Okay. What are you listening for?
I guess I will listen about rural area experiencing deficiency in equipment or services, health service.
Well, for me, I wouldn't be focusing on this. Of course, it's in rural Australia, but I am listening for the worrying outcome. That's what you're asking. That's what this. I need to find out what is it that she's worried about, don't I? What's worrying? What?
I should look for the result of poor fund or outcome.
Yeah, there's going to be There's going to be outcomes, isn't there? That's what we're going to hear. There's going to be outcomes. She's not going to mention only one outcome. She's going to mention outcomes. So it's possible that something about all of these will be mentioned, but only one of them is an outcome that she's worried about. That's what I would be thinking. So in A, Nasiba, what do you think is the most important idea for you to hear in the audio? How do you know that she's talking about A?
I guess in A, they utilize the service for most urgent one or for most. Yes.
Only urgent. That's what I'd be listening for. Does she say that they can only use it for urgent cases now? Only urgent. That's what I'd be listening for. What about B?
No more plans.
Just talking.
It is no more plane.
Yeah, no more. Just plane. I'd just be listening. Is there? Do they mention planes? Okay. And C. What about C?
Social isolation for some patients.
Yeah,
Isolation.
That's what I'd be listening for.
Isolation for group of cases or for group of patients.
Well, let's keep it simple, Nasiba. If they mention social isolation, then I know that they're talking about option C. All right. All I'm trying to do is differentiate between A, B, and C to make it easier to pick the options out. Then I've got to decide which one is she worried about. All right, that's the idea. So let me set this one up. Okay, here we go. I'm going to change the voice. Let me change the voice. I'm going to do Charlotte. I don't know who Charlotte is, but let's have a listen. Here we go. Everyone on mute. Here we go.
When we arrived there, the funding was secure, and as a result, we were able to reach a wide range of people, which often meant traveling by light aircraft, which isn't cheap, as you can imagine. Well, about a year ago, the funding stopped. You can imagine how that has affected us. It has led to a dramatic reduction in our service. Now we have to prioritize according to severity. It's a shame because sometimes we were the only link for some people to the outside world, and that is a concern.
I apologize for Charlotte's very strange way of reading that. Okay, let me get the poll. Here it comes. A, B, or C. Okay, let's end the poll. Okay, so here we go. Let's share those results. 59% of people say A. B, 17, and C, 24. Let's do it again. Okay, let's do it. Let's listen to it again. I don't know why she repeats people, but let me do it again. Here we go.
When we arrived there, the funding was secure, and as a result, we were able to reach a wide range of people, which often meant traveling by light aircraft, which isn't cheap, as you can imagine. Well, about a year ago, the funding stopped. You can imagine how that has affected us. It has led to a dramatic reduction in our service. Now we have to prioritize according to severity. It's a shame because sometimes we were the only link for some people to the outside world, and that is a concern.
Okay. Anyone that voted A, do you want to change your answer?
Yes.
Yes, me. I choose me
Yes.
now.
Okay. All right. So people
Actually,
who
it is.
voted A, people who voted A, they were influenced by this part, weren't you?
Yeah.
Now we have to prioritize according to severity. Now, it's a bit of a tricky one because this is an outcome, isn't it?
Yes.
Outcome. But prioritizing according to severity, what that means is
Urgent.
whatever is the most
Only severe cases should
The
be
two
asked.
longer
No,
more,
no,
so they have to
Wait,
prioritize.
guys, no. I was explaining there. Don't jump in. Prioritizing according to severity means whatever is the most severe that day or at that moment needs to be seen. Okay? Now, do you think that there is always an urgent case in rural Australia in this situation?
No.
No.
That's what you've got to ask yourself. It doesn't say that we can only go to urgent cases. It says that whatever is out there, we have to prioritize according to severity. Okay, we can't just go to everything. Okay, whenever we want to. We always have to go here and do that. We don't have much. We don't have many resources to go and do it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, the point that I really wanted to test, though, wasn't that. The point that I wanted to test was the referencing. Where is there some referencing?
That the concern
is a concern.
And that is a concern. That's what I wanted us to do, doesn't it? That links us to the answer. What was the worrying outcome of it? She's not worried about prioritizing according to severity. Okay. So, people fell into the trap there. Referencing is really important. Okay. What about this? What does that mean in the middle here?
The funding stop.
lack of fund.
Funding stop.
Usual formal structure for these types of classes.
Okay, so here I am with Edwin. Hi, Edwin.
Hey, Paul.
Hi, nice to see you. Okay, so Edwin, you are an OET hero, is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, super. So where do you live?